Welcome to Pipster. All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at two of the most fundamental tools in any trader's toolkit, moving averages and trend lines. This is really the classic showdown. It's the cold, hard math of an algorithm versus the creative touch of the human eye. So let's see how they stack up. Have you ever just looked at a stock chart with all those jagged lines going up and down and thought, this is just complete chaos? It feels like random noise, right? Well, it's a super common feeling. But what if I told you there are tools designed specifically to cut through that noise, to find the real story the market is trying to tell? That's exactly what we're going to do today. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the calculator's favourite tool, moving averages. You can think of this as the science side of trading. It's an objective, purely mathematical way to smooth out all those wild price swings and see what the heck is actually going on with the trend. So what even is a moving average? At its heart, it's pretty simple. It's just the average price of something over a specific number of days. By constantly updating that average as new days pass, you get this one clean, smooth line on your chart. Its main job isn't to predict the future, not at all, but to just clarify the present by getting rid of all that distracting short-term volatility. Now, you should know that not all moving averages are the same. You've basically got two main flavours. The first is the simple moving average, or SMA. I like to think of this one as a historian. It looks at, say, the last 50 days and treats every single one of those days as equally important. So it's steady for sure, but it can be slow to react. Then you have the exponential moving average, the EMA. This one is more like a journalist. It cares way more about what happened today than what happened 2 months ago. It gives more weight to recent prices, which makes it react much, much faster. And here's what this looks like in the real world. Traders almost never use just one moving average. Instead, they'll layer a few of them right on the chart. You might have a fast one that shows you the short-term vibe, and then a really slow one that keeps you grounded in the long-term trend. When you see these lines all stacked up nicely and moving in the same direction, well, that can be a really powerful signal. Okay, so let's switch gears. If moving averages are the science, then trend lines. Trend lines are the art. This is a totally different approach. It's completely manual, it's subjective, and it really relies on the analyst's own eye and their interpretation of the chart. So, a trend line is, you guessed it, a line. You literally draw on the chart yourself. If the market's going up, you connect the major bottoms, the swing lows. If it's heading down, you connect the major tops or swing highs. And what happens is this simple line that you drew suddenly becomes this visual guide for the trend. It often acts as a kind of dynamic floor or ceiling for the price. But here's the thing, drawing a valid trend line is everything. Yeah, you need 2 points to draw any line, that's just geometry. But the real magic, the part that matters, is when the price comes down and touches that line a third time. That third touch is validation. It's the market itself telling you, hey, we see this line too. That's when your drawing goes from being just an idea to being a real piece of the market structure. So we have our objective calculator and our subjective artist, the science and the art. Now it's time for the main event. Let's put these two powerful tools right next to each other and see how they really compare. And this table really lays it all out. Moving averages are mathematical, objective. They're perfect for automated, rule-based systems. But, and this is a big but, they always lag behind the price because they're based on the past. Trend lines, on the other hand, are totally subjective. They're drawn by hand, but because of that, they can feel way more adaptive and responsive to what the market's doing right now. So, what's the bottom line? Moving averages are usually easier for beginners to get started with, but drawing truly effective trend lines, well, that takes some serious screen time and experience. So this all leads us to the million-dollar question, right? After seeing them side by side, which one is actually better? Which tool should you be grabbing from the toolbox? And the answer might surprise you. You don't actually have to choose one. See, they're not rivals, they're more like partners. Each one has a different job. Moving averages are fantastic for just defining the big picture trend in a systematic way. And trend lines are amazing for pinpointing very specific, nuanced areas to watch. Honestly, the most powerful approach is using them together. You could use a moving average to confirm the overall trend is up, and then use a trend line to find a super precise spot to get in. At the end of the day, both of these tools are designed to help you follow one of the oldest and wisest sayings in all of trading. The trend is your friend. It doesn't matter if you're using a calculator or a paintbrush. The goal is always the same. Figure out which way the river is flowing and go with it, not against it. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Think about it. A moving average can be completely programmed into an algorithm. But a trend line, something drawn by a human hand, is often recognised and respected by those very same computer programs. So in a world that's becoming more and more automated, what does that tell us about the real enduring value of the human eye?